and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. All over the world, we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority.
It is, how should I say, Tuesday, and we are live today, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to welcome you here to Forbidden Knowledge TV. I'm Roderick Martin, which is with Roderick Martin's Truth versus Authority. So anyway, we got a great show for you here tonight, and I hope you're ready because it's going to be a little different than normal. It's going to be right on point where we're going to be talking about the Illuminati, mind control, trauma-based things. So if you're not ready for that, I'm telling you, it's not a place for us to be doing what we're doing. And I will definitely tell you to make sure that you put the kids to bed because what we're going to be talking about tonight is not PG. And so I want to welcome you here. You could have been in any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here, right now. With that being said, we're going to serve you. Real quickly, I want to bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show airs. And that's how we're going to roll. So again, we are live. We're live tonight. And so I'll give a shout out to some of y'all in the chat tonight. Sandra says she met me in Miami. Okay, great. Cool. Yeah, so we're live. And let me get right into the show of what we're going to be doing right now. Have you ever thought there was a situation out there where there's mind control? And then when we talk about the Illuminatis and we talk about some of these people, some of the celebrities and different people that have been through or holding up this sign that most people think is the Illuminati, we're going to go a little deeper than that today, people. And we're going to go into a couple of things. And let me kind of set it up right quick for you so that you kind of know. This is part two of a 3-step process, okay? Because we began the series on my YouTube channel yesterday, which is Monday, and we did the first step of 3 steps of mind control with the Illuminati of Monarch Programming. And so if you get an opportunity, if you want to connect some of the dots that I'll be talking about tonight here on Forbidden Knowledge, then go back to my YouTube channel and you'll be able to do that. If you didn't know, I do have a YouTube channel, and here it is here. This is my live stream schedule. I live stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, now will be Tuesday as we hear on Forbidden Knowledge. But if you want more, you can come to my channel. You can see it up there Monday, Wednesday, and then we do a private uncensored stuff on Thursdays, and then we come back and do a Friday. So I'm live every day, and so you see me here only on Tuesday. And so definitely make sure you come to the channel because we're trying to get 25,000 subscribers, and hopefully you can help me do that by going over to this channel and subscribing as well, and we can do that. So back to where we are, and like I said, it's going to be a great conversation. Now it's going to get really strong, and I want you to know it's going to get really, really strong. And sometimes when we get to these things, especially when I'm going to talk about trauma, because we're going to be talking about the Illuminati, how they use trauma before they even bring these people that we be talking about into the Illuminati. And this is not just people that when we are thinking about, some of the, normal folks. We're talking about the bloodlines, the 13 bloodlines, the Illuminati bloodlines that go all the way back to reptilian bloodlines too. So we will get into that as well. And so I'm just kind of cool on this. And we are doing what we're doing. And again, we're here live. So I know sometimes I upload some videos and y'all didn't know, but this is a live today and I'm here. And again, and I want to say hello to my truth seekers who was there yesterday, who were in here today. I told them make sure they all come and give me a little hello and shout out in from there. So we're going to get into today's show. And like I said, it's sensitive. It is strong. It's part 2 of the one we started yesterday. we're now getting into, but I'll do a little small recap of some of the things we talked about yesterday to bring this into fruition of what we're doing today. And like I said, it's going to be, it's really going to be edgy. So again, if you got children, please do not let them watch tonight's show. They may hear something they do not need to hear. I know we got some mature kids out there. Some of them are big enough to be grown men at 6 years old, but he's still a young kid. So let's treat them that way. Okay. And let's get down to it. So real quickly, when we start talking about the Illuminati programming on yesterday, Monday, we also went through how they chose these babies, and then I went through some of the terms of beta, which are the S-slaves. And so I'm going to spell it out for you so you'll know when I say it again, S-E-X, but now I won't put it in context. So when you hear me say S-slaves, you know what I'm talking about. And I gave you a whole criteria, a lot of the Illuminati terms. Now, things that I'm sharing with you today is secret information. Now, you can find some of this stuff out there, but I'm giving you some insider information on programming. Now, we may just thought in real life that when these people become Illuminatis or whatever they are, they're chosen. Some of this stuff starts in birth, but what we do realize is in pre-birth. Okay. Oh yeah. What you talking about pre-birth? Well, let's get into that and go into. And so what I'm giving you is their blueprint of how they create their slaves, their celebrity slaves, their political slaves, how they create all of these different types of people that they do to control them. But it all starts not only with the plan, but with birth. Now, when we talked about it yesterday, the Illuminati preferred the plan to be followed. And remember, I gave you kind of stages of this. And the programmers is what they're calling them, stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we went through some of that yesterday. But in this uterus stage, I would call it utero, whatever they call, where the baby is still in the mother's womb, this is a whole different level of programming, but it is part of the process. We talked about yesterday how they pick different fathers and mothers that will get rid of their kids. And then now we're talking about in the first stage of the initial ceremonies, they use traumatization. This is called trauma-based programming. Now, it comes from the Monarch programming. Some of us might have heard about the MKULTRA programming that was out there, but we're talking about Monarch. Now, why did they choose Monarch as the name of the programming? Because back in the day, the doctors realized through studies when they discovered that information memory could be passed down in our genes. Yes, in our genes. So something as trivial as information. Now, this is where we get the vampire stories where they will drink the blood of the elders, and so they can get the memories of the coven so they can pass it down to the next generation. Now, we saw this as some type of folklore in a movie. People, this is true stuff. When they realized that the monarch butterfly was able to genetically transfer information to the offsprings, then they said, well, wait a minute, if this can happen in the monarch in wild, this can happen with human DNA. And sure enough, they discover that stuff is passed down through DNA. And when they start trying to create these mind control slaves or Manchurian candidate that people talk about, whatever, they knew that they can do this. And so then they came up with this idea that they will then harness the power of DNA. They sought out Indian reservations. Okay, why would they choose the Indian tribes to co-breed with or breed with to create children for this Illuminati bloodline? Well, they knew that some of the Indian, the ones that wasn't traumatized, they had real sacred connection with the spirit world. And so they can go hunting. They can sit still for hours because they can disassociate themselves from the environment. And all these traits they needed in order to instill into the Illuminati bloodlines. And so, of course, they then took some of these women and created some of these different bloodlines and stuff. So this is pretty cool, pretty much. But again, we are live, so I can see you all in the chat on Forbidden Knowledge today, Tuesday, and I normally upload some videos. So again, I live stream 5 days a week, and a lot of you might not know I do have my own YouTube channel as well, and I'm there Monday, Wednesday, and then we do an uncensored offline hidden information talk on Thursdays for everybody who's part of our secret group that we have, and I'll talk about that later. But anyway, and then we come back live Friday. So let me continue. The child is born premature, and this is the case of what they're looking at. And I think this is one of the things that they try to make sure that they want, and that will be a child that is premature. So premature, or whatever you want to call it. Let me set my settings here for my screensaver so that we do not go out here. Yeah, give me one quick second, and let's do this. Display screensaver. There we go. All right. So, but anyway, if you didn't understand some of this stuff, and like I say, I'll bring some of this into fruition as we, talk more, but you can go back to my other previous stuff, the channel from yesterday, or my channel, I'm sorry, get a little tongue-tied there. But anyway, let's go. So when we start talking about this mind control, trauma-based trauma, they like to start with children that are premature, okay? And we talked a little bit about that. We talked about the monster of the type of fathers that they wanted for these type of children. And it's just a pure monster for a man that will, do these things to a kid, to a baby. And we did a lot of that conversation yesterday on my channel. So go back and hear about all of that, because it is part of this series of what we're doing. Now, the preparation for this is for someone to be programmed. And again, I'm going to say some things tonight that is going to challenge your thoughts and where we're going to go with this. To program someone, they also concerned that this person have to have the ability to be demonized. Oh, you hear me? So when we're talking about Illuminati mind control programming, when they do this from the womb, the people that they're chosen, the slaves and the assassins and all of these type of people that they're chosen to be programmed, they start this within the womb of the mother. So they can already do that. And you're going to find by the end of this show tonight, for mothers and that are carrying children, it is a delicate situation, and that think that there's a lot of things that I think some mothers may want to do different when they have their children, or giving birth to their children, or carrying them to full birth, because this stuff that I'm talking about tonight is scientific. They're doing this and they're using this. And so you want to think of the opposite of some of this stuff, and the power that you have to shape your child while he's in your womb, okay? And they doing this genetically already. So the preparation is they want to make sure someone is demonized. And what they call it is, normally these families are generational families, and they're saying that these kids are sold out to Satan, and that their children belong to Satan in a way that non-generational children do not. And because of generational curses, and because of genetic bent toward the occult, and because of generational demonic forces, the Illuminati children are very good candidates for the Monarch Programming. So these are two factions going on right here. You have the Illuminati families, these bloodlines, these blue bloods, and that carry on for quite some time. Then you have what we consider the Monarch Programming, which are by some other Illuminati, factions, because they all don't work as one. They're some enemies of each other, because they all are power hungry. They take this programming and say, okay, we're going to use this on our own Illuminati, other people, bloodline, and rituals that has been done, because we know that they're following this rituals and this bloodline, this DNA, all of this stuff is going to be. And what they try to create in what they call is a moon child. Okay, so you might have heard this somewhere. So these moon child rituals are rituals that demonize the fetus. They doing this, all right? However, the demons that are invoked are not the small ones, but very powerful ones, okay? And in working with these victims, this guy that I was reading and some of this information, they had to go through and try to, unprogram people. And I talked about it in the show yesterday, that a lot of us has been programmed and we didn't know it. And this programming is a long-term thing. It's not just done in some lab where they're hooking you up to some machines. They're doing it through media, TV, radio, celebrities, all of this stuff. When we used to watch Mickey Mouse or Alice in Wonderland, all of that stuff, if you can remember how some of that stuff made you feel, that was on purpose. They was doing trauma-based programming. And we all been subject to it. And if we ever had a TV growing up, we've all have. Now, the triggers are different. Now, when you're getting older, I explained that yesterday, that the programming kind of, gets out of things when you're about 30. And this is where you see these breakdowns with some of these celebrities shaving their heads and all of this stuff, because the programming has broken down. And you see it just about everywhere when it comes down to that. But that's another story. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, but let's continue on with this programming, the fetus, the rituals, demonizing before they were born by rituals like these moon child rituals. Now, we want to call this magic that they're talking about, but we are talking about Illuminati bloodlines. And in a little bit, I will do we have our show clock right here. So in about 20 minutes, we'll do a Q&A with some of the people in the chat before we move to part 2 of what we're doing. And obviously I can move a little faster here because I have a time clock right here. The actual rituals they carry out of moon child are described by, remember there was a magician named Alex, or I think it's Crowley, right? Aleister Crowley. He was the one, if you go back to King Charles's picture over there, over there in Britain, and you remember that red photo, and then inside there was the Baphomet was also in there. He's the one who drew that. Okay, so these people are working all across the board. They call it the moonchild stuff, and number one, because they call it the butterfly net is what it's called. And they try to make sure that they know, hang on a second, let me make sure I have what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, so they call it the butterfly net, and that is one of the things that they call it. So they're making sure that this is a system that they use. Now, one of the things that they want to make sure they do, and they call it the soul, they have a magic that they want to go into the 4th dimension to capture the souls of these kids early on. And they call blood sacrifices, human sacrifices are also required at this level of magic when they're doing. And they're saying that this perfect soul is a proper person called homonucleus or whatever they want to call it. All right, so this goes all the way back, and let me take you back for a moment so you can kind of picture where we're getting ready to go with this. Remember Superman, right? Superman was something that we all know about. We all watched the shows as a kid, and some of us had capes in which we were Superman. I know I did. Back in 1917, long before Superman appeared in the comic books, Aleister Crowley was writing about Superman. This was the magical idea to capture a soul from the 4th dimension, just like I was mentioning. And he called it again the butterfly net, and this is what they did with the moon child. Now, the Monarch Programming then, which is named after the Monarch butterfly, and these rituals was to make sure that the woman who was pregnant was surrounded by objects related to the moon. Now, let me pause there for a second. Now, I know a lot of us we're into symbolism. As you know, I call myself AKA the symbolizer, the vigilante of truth, and Denzel Washington is the equalizer for justice. Okay. I did a show here on Forbidden Knowledge, and you might go back and watch it. It talks about the triple goddess. Remember, I had the symbol of the triple goddess, moon goddess, and that's the circle with the 2 half moons. These things are real ritual things that they do. I try to alert people to the power of the triple moon, which the power of the triple moon runs into the axis of young, middle age, and wisdom. Now, oftentimes, you get a lot. I have gray hair, okay? And just to let you know, I'll be 55 coming up March 10th. That's my birthday. I do have a birthday wish. There is a link in the chat, so if you wanted to wish me happy birthday and help me get the wish, there's a link in the chat or down in the description of the video. But anyway, we talk about the triple moon. So you have the middle, the 2 sides of the moon. oftentimes, and you're going to get where I'm going with this, we get people focused on being youth and saying, oh, I just want to stay young forever, or I want the power of, I'm young in heart and spirit. And people hang their hat on that. They hang their hat that they're of a certain age, but yet they're still young and they can go out and they can do all of these things and all of this. But the programming of that is to make sure that you don't access the wisdom phase of life. Because if they can keep you in the young phase, then you won't learn, okay? You won't grow. You won't get to a point where you can apply wisdom to your everyday life to develop. And you hear people say some of these kids are old souls, and so they know. Well, okay, that is true. Some of these souls are old, and they separate from these children that are having these younger spirits because they can't relate to them. And it's because the old souls are somehow drawn off early wisdom and they can see life a little different. And I'm saying this because you see it, anti-aging cream, anti-aging this. Oh, I don't want to be young, or I want to get this done to my body. And they don't do this. They make sure that they get old, but yet they do train the slaves to sexualize things and go get the whatever they want to do, the bodies to change the lips, or special celebrities, so that other people want it and want to continue to look young. But they know if you access that triple moon, go look it up, go study it, that your life is going to shift, because all of a sudden that wisdom kicks in and it takes over the experience that you had, and now your life just changes. So they surround the women for the premature birth to do the mind control. They use the same power. So I just talked about the triple moon power, but they use the power of the moon. So the woman is pregnant, is surrounded by objects, small triangle silver altars that's to Artemis is what it's called. Remember, they just called the new rocket Artemis, right? These people just don't make this stuff up. They're trying to go to the moon, and they never made it there anyway. Now, they were sacred springs also, and then they used the number 9, which is sacred to the moon, and was used along with its square of 81. Prayers was made to Artemis, and there was a reenactment to capture of Diana by Pan. Now, the woman was coached to identify herself with what is known as the grandmother moon, and this is also that she then do it. Now, the creation of the moon children within the monarch involves high-level magic, again, by the Illuminati black magicians involved with this. And they had people like they call the Grand Master. They had people they call the Grandmother. Now, if you're just catching up, where I'm going with this is that this is trauma-based programming from the 13 families on into all these Illuminati bloodlines. And like I said, it goes all the way back to extraterrestrial, the Nephilim, Anunnaki. It continues to go. But when they decided that they needed the slave race, Billy talks about that all the time, they needed to make sure they keep this DNA and what type of people to create. Now, again, I'm going back and forth in the show yesterday, which is on my channel. And like I said, we're all live. So some of you get in here and sometimes you watch my videos, I upload them here, but we're live. So we'll go over the chat in a few minutes, or some of you people in the chat. But anyway, Netta, I see a lot of y'all. Thank y'all for coming from the channel. But anyway, yesterday we did a show on my channel. So if you need to go there, go back and watch it. And while you're there, help me get 25,000 subscribers. And there it is. That's my channel. And I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're there. Y'all just see me here only on Tuesday. So if you want to get more throughout the week, come over there. Someone may ask, how do you get out? We will go over that in a little bit, Bottle. So make sure you come back with that question in the Q&A, because it'll be pushed up by time we get to it. So when we talk about these celebrities, slaves, the beta, the type of people, how they think themselves as kittens, and the butterfly, the stuff that you saw in the Matrix, all of these different things. This is all part of the programming that they have put forward through trauma. And we talked about the altars yesterday, and this is important so you understand. When they do programming, they do what they call altar programming. Altar is a personality that is programmed to Monarch Programming. And like I say, a lot of us have altars in us and we don't know it. An alter is another personality that sits in the back of your, just picture it sits in the back of your mind back here. When whatever triggers it, whether it's a code word, a sound, some kind of event on TV, whenever it triggers that alter, it moves to the front lobe of your personality. Now, this thing is well trained. The alter has a history. It has it just changes it has everything it needs to function separately. And you'll see when people do the term that we call switching from yesterday, their eyes are, you'll see it all the time. They're switching. That alter is coming in. And a lot of times they don't know. And a lot of us could have arguments with somebody we love or who we with, and you wonder what you say. And I'm just making this word up, homo trocolocus or whatever. And you said, baby, homo trocolocus. And the next thing and now y'all arguing, and you trying to figure out what the F has happened here, because there's a program. And now they have what they call alter fragments. Now, these are specific programs. These are triggered for a certain experience. Now, we've seen the movies that Mel Gibson played in. Remember The Catcher's in the Rye? Every time he saw that book, it triggered something. Now, they do this for assassins. They do this for all this kind of stuff in politics. And again, I'm going over with you, which is hidden information, occult information. And I'm not going to give you the reference to where it is, but if any of you attend our uncensored stuff on Thursday, when you go to the Patreon, then I'm going to share this document with y'all, and so that you will have it, because I think everybody needs to know it. I cannot put it out here on this airways. I'm already on probation for saying stuff on my channel and telling the truth. And so we have to be a little careful. Now, the ceremonies also concern having a child. And here's some of the stuff. They want, the Illuminati also have planned that every one of these 10 commandments that we have, the spiritual 10 commandments, will be violated in favor with this child. They prefer children to be born out of wedlock, so they're bastards. They break God's commandment on adultery, and also give them more leverage to destroy the child's self-esteem. And this plan involves generational curses with spoken and unspoken. And during their Illuminati ceremonies, they're putting this thing together. So now that's a little bit about, I would say, before we really get into the seriousness of where we're going to go. Now, listen to this. The former Monarch Mind Control Project was developed in observation of high-level satanic families. They took the programming and they took it from satanic families, and then they put it in. And so they said, okay, these are generational occult bloodlines. And you can go all the way back to, again, where they learned how to create these moonchild. Now, I skipped something purposely because I know I cannot say this on the air. So it just caught me by surprise that I even had a highlight to even say it. And I need to make sure that I do what I'm going to do here. Now, let's get into the actual show. Yeah, we didn't get started yet. I was just giving you a connection between yesterday's show a little bit, which we went way deep yesterday. And once again, you can go back to my channel. And then tomorrow, let me just put it back here on the screen. Tomorrow, we're going to do part 3 of this programming. Yep. And it's going to be on my channel tomorrow at Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So again, we are live. We're here live here on Forbidden Knowledge. And from now on, I'll be here live every Tuesday. So I'm live 5 nights a week on my channel here on Tuesday. All right. So now let's get into it. So make sure, I hope you don't put the kids to bed now, because we're getting ready to it's getting ready to get deep. It's not going to go. We're going to say some things that's going to be really tight. Okay. If y'all with me, if you want me to continue to go deep, we're going to go put a thumbs up or something in the chat. Like I said, we live. Let me know you with me. Let me know you learning something from this, because I thought it was important, because this programming is happening in real time. It's happening to us now. And the better that you understand it. All right. Bottle said he's up. Giovanni said he's up. Okay, cool. So y'all are with me. Is that M. Wells? Okay. So y'all know we're live. And let me go. Okay. So here's the way we're going to go. Step 2, which is where we are today. what you just heard me talk about was just a pittance of what we talked about yesterday for step 1. And it was bad, okay? It really was bad. There was some bad stuff. Now we're talking about trauma for a premature birth. Why on earth would somebody traumatize a baby in the womb to create a mind control slave, to create where they are? Because it starts there. So I'm saying this once again to all of our ladies and mothers and everything. Do it different. Okay, I'm not saying who you are, but if you find if they drinking or if they smoking a little weed because they're whatever, stop it, because this is affecting the child. Now, this is scientific stuff that we're talking about today. This is scientific mind control that they're using with trauma. So imagine changing the tune. Imagine talking to your child. Imagine teaching it something, and now all of a sudden it's exceptionally, because somewhere along that way, now there's some genetics involved. Okay, we're going to go into that. So let's just get into the show and pretty much go through that. Sammy said, let's get the likes up. Yeah, let's get that likes up. Cynthia said, we're ready. All right, so let's go down into this. A premature birth is important because it naturally occurring events around premature birth ensure that the child is naturally traumatized. Studies show that they find that 7 to 8% of live birth were premature, and then 25 to 40% of all battered children were born premature. So they need this information. And let me give y'all a quick disclaimer real quick. If you hear me, I'm reading and I mispronounce a word and you want to equate that with intelligence, shame on you, but we're going to give you the intelligence back. I want you to visualize this virtual letter box, grammar box. I got one right over here, and I got a letter box over here. It's virtual, and I give you the power to use your ability and psychic ability and all of those godlike things to go in there and get that grammar box. Take it from my mouth, put it into there, and when it reaches your brain, I pronounced it exactly the way you want to hear it. If something is misspelled or something you see on the screens or whatever, you have unlimited letters. You go in there and you change that up on yourself, because the human mind can do that. You don't have to rely that I mispronounced the word and all of a sudden, brother, this, that. Okay, because I get haters like that all the time, and I can care less. All right, so let me keep going. So it appears that the satanic cult involvement, which causing premature birth, may be reflected into this statistic. Some of the Illuminati-induced premature births have made the newspaper because the preemies set records to be born so small, and the labor is induced, in fact, by premature birth is not natural. So where I'm going with this, so listen to me where I'm going with this. They're doing this on purpose, by the way. The premature births are induced on purpose because the parents, some of these rich Illuminati parents, saying that they need this type of child to be part of the Illuminati, and we need to send it through this type of trauma so that it can be programmed to perform whatever they think is necessary for humanity to do what they're doing. They are doing this. They are going to get in that piece of thing, put in their mouth, and, you know, Heavenly Father, and you hear the music, you know, the ceremonies, and they all wearing the big robes. You get what I'm saying? And all of this stuff. They are ceremonially doing this on purpose to these kids so that they are born. This is why some of these kids you hear are just born evil. They're on that part, right? All right. So they also say that they use specialized drugs at some point. The mother will begin the process of delivery. However, the mother must be brought out of this deep sleep, because if it's a premature baby, the baby cannot help her out, right? Because if you had a baby and you think you pushed it all by yourself, well, some of these babies are helping you out. They're like, let me get the hell up out of here. Shit, you know, it's dark. I want someone to see this light down here. So they push themselves out, but a premature baby is too weak to help the mother. Now, the Illuminati's learned that a mother can usually have 2 to 3 preemie births like this before she risks unaliving to try it again. And this type of birth is repeated often. Her heart will fail. So this is why the Illuminati will have their breeders. And we talked about it in part 1. They got breeders out there. and they give them 2 or 3 preemies, and then their breeders switch to what they call full-term birth. These are used for, listen to me, sacrifice. Okay, we have seen too often truckloads and where they discover all these kids and different people. It's something about the kid spirit soul that they know comes into this world as pure as it can get. It has not experienced, it has not met you, it have not met me, where now we done tainted them. I'm laughing at myself, but you get what I'm saying. They have not had the life experience and all of these things. This is very important for you to understand, that this is why it is so essential at childbirth and what's going on with these children, okay? And it's really there. But here's the deal. We describe how the breeders and babies are used, and they must speak in general terms, and we talked about that yesterday. However, there are some patterns that should be pointed out. A bloodline would often want a female's firstborn to be sacrificed, their belief system and lineage programming. Now, I'm going to talk about this later in the show, and I'm going to hint to it in a little bit. Right now, I'll hint. The Illuminati says that they want these, if you were in, okay, so we're talking about the slaves, and then we're talking about the people who are in the system of the Illuminati as well. A lot of them have to give up their firstborn son, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but there's a couple that we all know who they are. And we know they got 3 kids, but we ain't never seen the son ever again, ever. I'm not calling them names, but you know who I'm talking about. You just saw the father and the 2 at the Super Bowl. You do not see the son. I don't know. Maybe y'all know, but it disappeared. There was a son. There is a son somewhere. Never seen again. Okay. So I don't know, but we're gonna keep going. I'm just saying it. You know, without calling no name. But the Illuminati breeders may be women who were preemies themselves and sometimes skip the generation with trauma of premature birth to get the mother with a good sound heart. And some of these breeders have excellent bloodlines, but during their own preemie birth, their brains were damaged and they don't know how, they don't have what they call a super intelligence the Illuminati wants for programming. So these slaves are already DNA picked for their intelligence. They know they want, so they have different ones, okay? Let me see where I'm going. Yeah, okay, let's not do that right now, Philly Cat. We're gonna wait, and you can just call me later. So the other part of this will be that these people, they're doing this from birth. So there's 2 types. We talked about how they pick the S slaves, why they get these ladies and girls at certain ages and they teach them, sexual things. And we talked about that yesterday. And people think, oh, yeah. No, these are goddesses. They teach them something else that is different than most people saying, hey, babe, I'm coming over there. We're going to do this tonight. And she's saying, okay, baby, just bring it, talking that kind of shit. No, we're talking some ritual sex that billionaires are paying for that shit. You get what I'm saying? They're paying for it. And that's because they are taught something totally different. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to run into that person, and I get it, but it's not what we think. It's a whole nother level. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, so go back and watch yesterday's video. This is part 2, but I'm just telling y'all, it's some crazy stuff that they do. Now, let me get back on track with you. When these breeders are used, basically genetically, they have genes for intelligence, even though they aren't brilliant. These women are lesser intelligence and will only make beginning priestess levels, what they call a woman may obtain the rank of high priestess. All these women, no matter the circumstances, have been made to believe that offering their babies to Satan is the highest honor. So many of them do not have normal qualms about their job. And let me tell you, it's important for you to understand, and I want to say this, that the Illuminati or is it Luciferians or something? They're not satanic, okay? There's a difference between a satanic cult that does ritual spells and all this. the Illuminati worship Satan. See, this is why there's a big difference when you see them doing Illuminati or they're doing the Baphomet and all of that. So everybody says, oh man, they're satanic worship. Well, they practice the Lucifer Satan religion, I would call it. I don't know if it's religion. And they are the cultists of that. But there's a difference between a satanic person that spells and magics and putting shit in the circles and all of that stuff. And so that is a difference. Just know that those things happen. Okay. And the other part is that, so there's a science how the Illuminati hides their bloodline. And we talked about that yesterday as well. Now, here's something that I get into a lot. So this will go with some of the Illuminati is fully aware that blood types and other genetic properties run in bloodlines and breed individuals to get certain traits. They also take in consideration weaknesses such as weak hearts or AB negative blood with no RH factor will be special attention. And let me say this now. I do a show all the time, and I'm doing a bigger one coming up. And let me put this on screen for most of you right now. Here's an 800 number. This 800 number, so screenshot this. Just go ahead and screenshot this on your phone so you'll have it. It comes directly to me. You can send links, photos. You can call. Sometime I'm up late at night, 3 a.m. I get people calling. I'm saying this because if you're RH negative, I need you to call me because we're doing something special. I'm trying to put some stuff together, and I want to create this environment for us to chat. Is important. But also, if you are out there and you're seeing stuff like reptilian stuff, because I go deep on reptilian on my channel. I believe the reptilian stuff, the agenda is real, live. It's attached to these Illuminatis. So we just not going there today, but it all goes all the way back because of the rituals, the bloodline, and all of this stuff. I want you to text me your number, put your name. I'll call you because it comes to my phone and all of that, the 800 number. Or if you call and leave a voicemail, it'll send me the message and I always will call you back. But if you are out there on social media and you see some stuff, send it. And then on next Tuesday, if you only come in here or, we're live, but if you come Monday to my channel or Wednesday and Fridays, I'll give you a shout out for sending me a link and say, hey, we got this from such and such. This is some stuff, symbolism, any symbolism and stuff like that. Let me get back on point here. That was a detour. These cults, they have what they call leftovers, and the difference between good breeding of the Illuminati and degenerate thinking is openly satanic groups. And they talking about satanic groups are organized into hubs, and some of lesser occult groups are like the KKK. So we think the KKK is this, but the Illuminati themselves think there are some degenerates. They we don't even want those radical, crazy ass folks to be part of what we do. So we send the lesser people in today, even though they're fanatical or whatever. So that's just funny how they do it. The other part of this, women, which are kept under lock and key to serve as breeders. Breeders are kept from having outside talents that will help them function in the outside world. And some are not allowed to have even driver's license or even the basics. People, this is happening in real time. This is why, we have so many missing people. We have these Epstein Islands. We have all of this stuff. And now all of a sudden, we talked about it yesterday, the stuff that P. Diddy was doing, the tranquilizers. Remember yesterday's show, we talked about how the tranquilizer, all of this stuff was used in the mind programming. You got to rest assured that he got the recipe. He knew where to get it from, or he had connections to the Illuminati mind control stuff, because everything that he was using that they're talking about, we talked about that yesterday. It's in this programming documents that they're using. So this is real stuff. The stuff, the way he was trauma basing, the same thing with let me show you, we're talking about tomorrow, but the same thing with Britney Spears shaving her head because her programming was coming apart, was the same thing you saw with Cassie shaving her head. She was losing the programming. He was losing his grip because there's a certain age of 30. Remember we talked about it. They called it getting off the freedom train this Thursday in our private talk where we can go uncensored. I'm going to give you the details of what that all means. And if you haven't had access to it, here it is. It's our Patreon. We have an all access plan where I do uncensored interviews, conversation. We just started it, stuff that we cannot talk about. You're welcome to join it. There is an access fee. It's $26. I'm letting you know. You join it, but you're going to get access to live streams. I upload these documents. I'm going to upload these documents. All the stuff that we cannot. Ever since they banned and strike me, I had to go underground. And so this is where we're going to go underground. And I know everybody may not be the time to support it, but the ones who do, you're going to learn some stuff. And when you do decide to come, there will be archives of things that we talk about in private. We can do Q&A. I'm bringing some hard-hitting guests that cannot talk about things that they can do on a live air. And a lot of them are excited. Yeah, I would love to come to your private space, your unsecret place, to uncensor, to really talk to Sugar Honey Iced Tea. It's there. It's developed. If you want to join it, there's a link in the description. This Thursday, we're doing our uncensored. Every Thursday, we're going to hit hard stuff that I can't say. And there might be times that I'll put this on the screen, uncensored. You got to know, when you see this is our programming. When you see that pops up, go just plan for Thursday that you're going to hear this real shit on Thursday, because we can go into it. But anyway, yes, it's $26 a month. And then I upload a lot of videos you never would find, a lot of Jordan Maxwell, a lot of books, and I have a document of 30,000 books, video. I can't put them all in there, but it's some of the most coveted knowledge that you will find anywhere on any people that we have subject to, for me being on TV. Y'all know that I've been in 11 different TV shows on Gaia. You know, right now I'm on HBO. I was just looking. I'm in a show on HBO. I saw it yesterday. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, cool. You go, boy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm, but I've made some contacts and I got that stuff, that information. And so, all right, so let's continue. How does a cult manage to work things out? Now, what I'm about to tell you now, I hope you're sitting down for this. This is not pretty, but I remember getting a phone call from a lady, and she was crying, she was upset, and she was trying to tell everybody in the world. And we've seen we've seen stuff on social media where these babies are coming up missing or switched at hospitals, and are telling these mothers stories. I'm going to cover that right now. And it's a sad thing that this is happening, and it has happened, and it's going on. So I'm not validating it. I'm only giving you the documents, but we've seen enough stories. So you put 2 to 2 together yourself. Now, Thursday, I will go deep on it, and I'll tell you some shit, okay? Some bad shit, some heart-hurting stuff that it happens. And we need to believe it. We see somebody else saying, hey, or I had the baby was born stillborn or something at the hospital. This is some serious Sugar Honey Iced Tea. How does a cult manage to work these things out within hospital settings? And I'm a little challenged to even go through this on live. Okay, so I'm going to skip around a little bit, but I'll give you as much as I can on the open forum here. The independent satanic cults may not use some of the hospitals, and some have worked enough firsthand information, this guy's saying, and he's a covert information too. But example is that some of these cults, especially in the Seminole, and you're listening, they're talking about it on these reservations, counties of Oklahoma, where section houses in the countryside has unrecorded birth. So they go in and they do those things. In the cult world, wants a mother to see her preemie. They work things out. No, it's a monthly fee. It's part of the Patreon, because we're there. We're doing uncensored stuff, Diane, every Thursday. So, and then I'm uploading stuff you won't find anywhere else. So it's better than Netflix. It's a learning knowledge place, but it is monthly. But that's to support to bring in those guests and people that that are coming, that'll talk off. I like to give them love offerings to give us knowledge that we don't find anywhere else. But like I say, everybody can't support it, and you don't have to. I'm still going to be here 5 days a week. So y'all know that on my channel, we talking reptilians. We go hard on reptilians now, because I got the stuff on that. All right. But anyway, so some of these preemie children are described. Listen to me. Here's the deal. Be careful of this. If a mother is low income, y'all hear me now? If the mother is low income, the Freemasons will let them use their network of hospitals for free. I don't know who their network of hospitals, but I'm sure they're in every fucking city. So we got low-income parents that they're saying, hey, come on in. We can, because there's a show right now called RN or The Resident, and it shows you the inside part of these hospitals and how they work. And it's real, how they talk about money. Let's get this patient out of here. But they're saying that there's a network of Freemason hospitals, and you probably know what it is because they listed who they are, like Shiners. I don't know, maybe, but they support them. Okay. And they support them, and they let these premature children are described as unalive, and they're taken with the excuse that they can't breathe. Then they're used for programming experience. And then the Illuminati, working with conjunction with other occult groups, scheme up methods that they can get other people's babies. There are, and this lady called crying. She worked, and she was talking about how her baby was missing or came up or whatever, and how all these other women and different people. And then she was saying it's her second one that was born. They told her that the baby was born, whatever. And then I found out she had a particular bloodline and all of this stuff. And I'm like, whoa, because I've said it before, and this is people that have alien stuff. As you know, I'm being a UFO investigator. Again, go look at all my work and, Ancient Aliens. I was featured, all of the different places. There was always a connection to why so many people would get the aliens will come to them and their families, because when they've been doing this for years, they know that your particular family tree has this genetic DNA. It's all about DNA. Everything is DNA based. And so they're going to come back and abduct you. They're going to come back and abduct your great grandkids and kids. And they're going to let this continue on because they know that specific gene line is passing on some genetic trait that they need to use, whatever, to get whatever they're doing. This is happening all the time. And a lot of people never could connect the dots. Why is this happening to me? It happened to my grandmother. At least if the grandmother told the child, and well, now you know, everything is genetic based. Everything is genetic based. Okay. In fact, we got a whole show that says, hey, Roderick, by DNA diagnostic, you are not the father. How did they know that? Because of DNA. So everything is DNA. They know who's what, who had who, and where, and who didn't do it. Okay. So when you think about it, they also can get other people's baby. They give them additional children to work on by giving low-income mothers free birth at these hospitals. Coke can, and later on, contrive some reason for stripping the low-income mother who is on drugs of her guardianship or her baby. And then they take these children, some of them drug babies, for programming. Now, these mothers are different. The mothers are different animals or example of how important it is to touch a baby. A mother cow or a dog, whatever, will nudge its offspring as soon as it's born. You've seen that. They do that. They will begin teaching the baby immediately after it's born, and studies show that most mammals lick their newborns when they observe to be critical. The Illuminati want the same development for offspring. Okay. And I'm gonna skip that part, but it takes the place of licking animals, giving their offspring and and remember, they're doing all this for programming. They're doing all this for programming. And I'm gonna say it again. If you just joined us, this is part 2 of part 3. We are live in the chat. I'm gonna pause here in a few seconds to answer some questions in the chat, and then we'll do part 2 of tonight's show, which is part 2 of a 3-part series of trauma-based program, the Illuminati mind control. And then we can get into tomorrow some of these celebrities, different people, where all of this stuff is right in our faces, people, politicians, all of the stuff that they are doing is right in our faces, and how all of us, he talk about, wait a minute, are they licking? Oh, okay. Am I that transparent? All right. So the child can be touched, and it will crave touching even if it hurts. And already mixing of love and pain is beginning. Their skin will be thin and sensitive to touch. Remember, because they're preemies. And it will hurt to touch, and the preemies can either have their skin bruised by a sheet. So the premature birth will create a fighter spirit in the child. So this is selective processing. By them making sure this baby is born premature, excuse me, I'm burping here, they can know that they can create a fighter spirit because the child is either going to fight or flight in this premature stage. They want that fighter so they can program this fighter. All right. And by having that, the selection process is already started if they get children that's premature. Now, we're also talking about them doing this in taking or finding or assuming children, all of these missing stuff that we hear about, but they also got these people. So when we think these children and people are coming up missing and we have to find these people and wherever they're going, some of these people are held as breeders. There are breeder places somewhere. Somewhere there's a place where they have breeders and they're using this stuff, these people, these things. And it is horrific, right? The other part is every part of the preemie's body will be violated. And I'm going to skip this part purpose, but we talked about it yesterday, some of the part, and I'm not going to tell you the violation, but I will tell you some of the stuff that they do. So when the mother has the baby in her womb, even though you see my stomach here, this is the muscle. And I, jokingly, I had a young man walked up to me. I told y'all the story about a year ago. And this little boy was about 4 years old, walked up to me and touched my stomach. I'm, hey, when your baby do? Man, I looked at his mother like, are you fucking kidding me? Now I know I'm fluffy at that time and I don't got a lot smaller, but the whole point was she had 3-4 other kids. You mean to tell me all this boy knows that he see a stomach and that the one that there's only babies in there? And then he's been traumatized so much of all these babies and the stomach mom been pregnant all the time that a man comes up with a stomach. He goes, when your baby do? Now he didn't appear that he was going to be the next comedian, so he was serious. Had he had a smirk, I would have let him slide. But anyway, that's my story. Forget it. That's me. But that was I asked for it though. I was, just walking with the muscle out a little bit where that's what he saw. So anyway, when a child is born, Illuminati make sure that the first view of one of these people is by the grand dam within the hierarchy. So they have this grand dam, and then they also have what they call male programmers. And over the months, these programmers figure they will repeatedly talk to the child in what they call loving, cooing tones, like a pigeon. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. The most loving, soothing words are all that is permitted at this stage. The child is being naturally bonded to the programmer. All right. And the guy who put this together said the best experts of this type of bonding. Now, the programmers talk to each other and they'll say things like, which is pretty crazy, this child is a piece of clay. And they view themselves as the potters of the clay. And I wonder why I used to go to the potter's house, and that was always the whole theme of the church, the potter's house, the clay and shaping the clay. And now all of a sudden, of course, it's a biblical term probably too, right? And now they use it as their term of shaping people. I don't go to the church anymore, but then we talked about all these people could be Illuminati too. But anyway, they think of this stuff ahead of time when they do stuff. And I'm not saying that's the case because, the church is the church anyway. But yeah, I got 6-packs now. Yeah, keg, pack, whatever. It's just, it's all good. All right. So they y'all funny. The voice is hypnotic voice of the program is taking advantage to what they call the disassociative trance. Remember, we talked about how they like to disassociate the child, right? And the child is following. Now, listen to me. This is serious again. And I put it in red on purpose because I wanted to make sure that I told you. I don't know if you see that. Okay. Anyway, don't worry about it. You can hear me. Only the fetus can one conceive an ideally pure state trance that in this state. So only in the fetus can one conceive of an ideally pure trance state. So obviously they're saying that when that child is in your womb, for you who are pregnant or having your next child, that the child is really in a trance state. This is the perfect time to program, read, say cool things, turn down the fucking music, all of this stuff, because you're traumatizing the baby, okay? And we might not think so. And when you do feel it kicking and you think, oh, this cutie's kicking, he's going, well, listen, that's because you had some weed last night and I don't want it. I know, I'm just being bad to whoever. But the whole point I'm saying is this is important for us to know the importance of the stage of birth, that this is probably the most important phase before even the baby is born, that we can shape him to be the next king, right? We can shape him to be the next whatever, and control and business, whatever. Read him some sacred stuff or whatever. Go ahead and give him the juice. So when he come out of that stomach with wings and shit, he's doing what he's supposed to do, or she, or whatever. You can do this. They're doing it already. They just don't want us to know it can happen. They don't want us to know. So why don't we get that knowledge, even though we're talking about what they're using it for? Take the knowledge and use it for what we do. So true. My daughter's pregnant right now, and positive vibes only. That I'm telling you, this is real life stuff. They're doing this every day. So if they're doing it to create a traumatized baby to use for programming, and then we wonder why some of the children that we have are off the rocker at 6 and 8 and 10 years old, or at 12 or 11, because we done did the program a long time ago. And it's real important. I talked about it yesterday, that they talked about fathers, how important fathers was. And when they choose these S slaves or betas for the S slaves, you okay? You remember the word, that they made sure that they chose fathers that will do hideous things to their children when they were babies, because they knew if a man would do that to a baby, that he didn't have a conscience. They didn't want the men in part of this program that will do it to a teenage daughter, because they know that he can then come back later and get remorseful or whatever. But they wanted these fucking monsters who would do bad things to kids while they are children, because then they knew that these kids are now really traumatized. This is all done. And this is some crazy stuff, some nasty stuff, right? But they're doing it, man. And so now when you start meeting people, once you start learning this stuff, you come into the uncensored area and we teaching it, and you run into these people that's programmed, you're going to see it, because they're going to have the marks. Remember, I trained you on that, but I'll tell you, you're going to see the programming because they mark them. Just like the movie Blade, where they knew where the safe house. They mark all of this stuff, the monarch butterfly. All of these things are done so the other people know, hands off. This is someone else's property. They mark them, scars, all kind of stuff. Even though they live in a lavish lifestyle, they make sure they live a lavish lifestyle too. Some of these people are living lavishly, okay? But anyway, yes, it's all about natural law. Yes, and we talk about that as well. Let me continue. Well, now let me take a break right here. Let's do just for 4 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer to start 4 minutes. Anybody got a question and answer before we move on to the next part, because it's gonna get insidious here. And we'll probably be done in about another 15 or 20 minutes, but it's just, we're going to do some stuff. You know what I do? Let me finish. Now, I'll continue, and then we can have a Q&A at the end, because we just got a little bit to go. So let me just continue, and then we'll do that. The other part of this is, if you want to hypnotize someone, the idea is when they are in the fetus. Now, you just heard me say that. And because the baby soon begins to get a grasp of reality, and that the reality gives the child something to compare with the hypnotist in wanting to be programmed. And notice that all awareness that is structuring the mind done naturally via genetics, okay? This is, again, underscore the importance of why programmers like multi-generational victims, because they pass down via genetics some of the mental structures needed for smooth programming. See, me and a guy was talking about some stuff the other day that, and I told a personal story about the she-wolf, which somebody I was in a relationship with, that after years of being in a relationship, it was revealed to me that her father did a lot of crazy stuff to all of their families, and her, and so you're dealing with these things in this relationship that you don't know. And again, it's this programming there. But she also began to live things a different way. And you would think, okay, it's because of the father or whatever. Now you understand this stuff is genetic. Yes, normally if something is the father was doing it, and then they breeding these things is happening. This is why we get these trauma stuff. And I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but obviously what they like here is to look into the genetic structure to make sure that these traits are passed down. And remember, it came from the monarch butterfly, which is what they have. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and get these likes up and everything else. And then, like I said before, as I continue here, tomorrow, part 3, which is going to be really good. We're going to be doing it tomorrow on my channel at going to be at 8:00 on my channel, not here on Forbidden Knowledge. You will come over to Roderick Martin channel, which is right here. Just look for this. You can type that into YouTube, Roderick Martin, you'll find me. And then also tonight, if you can, everyone that's in here tonight, if all of y'all subscribe tonight, then I will hit 23,000. I'm trying to do 25,000 subs. It will be pretty nice. But if I served you any kind of way, and if I can get you to take the time, there's a link in the description to find my channel and subscribe, I will hit that 23,000. I'm like 200 something off. And everybody in here can make that happen if you so choose. If you getting value, okay? If you're getting value, then honor it. Just say, okay, Roderick, I got you, brother. I got you. And if you do got me, give a shout out. Say, I got you. I'll go subscribe. If you don't subscribe, if you haven't subscribed to my personal channel, and then make sure you subscribe here, of course, too, if you're new, right? Because we here every Tuesday as well. But you don't want to wait to just Tuesday, because I say some good stuff throughout the week, all right? So, again, it's important by locking into these preemies, they can do this and they control. And now listen, they want the child to worship the programmer. Remember Billy talked about that, the worship gene, right? He talked about how now the Illuminati is taking this programming and putting it in, but they're doing this to make sure that the mind control people are worship. Remember I told you some of these people today, they still call them daddy. You'll hear this in public, where they're doing this stuff. And then all of a sudden we do it too. I mean, when I was young, I would love for that woman to call me daddy. It's like, where do we get that shit from? Where do we get it from? And it's kind of one of those things. I can afford this channel. All right, well, that's fine. Just stay here, Hunter. It's all good. All right. I mean, I'll be back Tuesday and you can just stay here, but hey, it's all good. I only just asked if you had the heart to support me on my channel. And if you can't afford it, and I don't do enough for you to afford it, it's cool. It's all good. But somebody else would. So if somebody can say that you will to combat the what he won't do, then I'll teach you. They call it the balance act. Okay. All right. KC say, I got you. Appreciate it. Because what I'm understanding too, and we'll teach that, is that when you see these bad people, they study, it's a religion called, I don't know if it's Geno, whatever, but it'll come to me. This is why you see these philanthropers, these billionaires giving money to philanthropy, because they run this new thing that says, they say for every bad deed, there's a good deed. So they know that they're doing bad stuff. It's kind of like the yin and yang and all this stuff. So we know. But anyway, all right. Thank you, made by Chakar. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right. So do the government does mind control? Yes. I remember yesterday I named all of the government institutions that's part of the Monarch Mind Programming. So go back to my channel and watch that video toward the end. I named every institution, the Delta forces that are assassins, part of the Monarch Mind Control. I'll go into all of that stuff yesterday. Thank you, D, for subscribing as well. I appreciate it. Now, the children can be hypnotized easier than adults, but it has been done differently, especially if the child is pre-verbal. Now, rubbing a child, stroking his head, the hypnotist must maintain rapid tonal stuff. So they're training these preemies to really do that. Now, there's all right, so, all right, D and Midvale, since you subscribe, I appreciate it. All right. So the third part of this, which we'll talk about tomorrow, so we'll do a little Q&A now, is they do what they call love bombing the child until about 18 months. So it's like and that's going to be part of tomorrow's show. And this is the third stage of smothering a child with love. Then the love is given so it can be taken away in the fourth stage, which we'll go through all of that too. And then it creates a problem. And so sometimes we may see this in some people that can't take rejection, or why did he leave me? Why did she leave me? And we don't know if they have been programmed because of being in that preemie stage, because they're practicing. They're practicing on kids. They're practicing on other people's children. They're doing this stuff unbeknownst to people. You may get to 25 subscribers from this show. I would hope so. If everybody who watched this in the next day or so, if you watching me now and you watching this, we're live. Okay, we're live. But if you're watching this during the week and you see, come and subscribe so I can hit that 25K right there. And then again, let me show my schedule so that y'all would know. I live stream Monday. Then I used to upload here, but I'm a live stream here on Tuesday. So you're going to see me every Tuesday. Wednesday, back on my channel, which I'll be there tomorrow. Thursday, we in that uncensored area. So if you got access to that, you're going to hear the shit. Because we can say things that we can't say out here. And it's only for the Patreon. And it's a small room. Not a lot of people is doing it. We got a Q&A section software. It is real cool. And then I do Friday night. Sometimes we do Freaky Friday. We go wild on Friday. Sometimes we live stream 4 hours on Friday. So if y'all haven't been to my Friday nights, you ain't got to go to the movies. Now, we still talk about reptilians. We talk about the Illuminati. In fact, I'm probably going to you'll find the most content about reptilian stuff you'll find anywhere else on my channel, because we go deep into reptilian. They're here. Mind control, construct programming. In fact, all of this Illuminati stuff is based on reptilian stuff that goes all the way back to that stuff is there. The show and Brother Joseph, that's where I got hit. They gave me a strike, put me on probation because we was telling too much good stuff. So I cut some of the stuff out. We had to reload it, and that what inspired the uncensored areas. Why I put it together so it is new, because you got to hear this stuff. If they're censoring everything, people, and I'm on probation for stuff I can't say, but I got to tell you. So I had to create that private area, because if they do that, they not just demonetize the channel, but they bring down the funding on the advertisement. And I can't afford to tell you the truth. That's the bottom line. Sometimes I can't afford to tell you the truth. But if we doing a private area and the ones who can support, if you can, I make it your worthwhile. And then you can go and share this information, the other stuff under the radar with people, right? Because I'm putting documents in there, books, different stuff that you won't find. I just put $100 book in there that you get on eBay for $100 because it's out of print. But I put a PDF copy in there for our members. Y'all just go in there and get it and get that knowledge of the bloodlines, 13 bloodlines, the Illuminati, Rothschilds, and all these people. These people are real shit. Also, if you know, I'm looking for a software so we can create a genealogy, right? And then we need to take that where we can leave off from what the book teaches us. And then we can start finding people in real time today that's connected, because all these presidents are connected, from Barack to George Bush to they all are cousins by bloodline. This stuff is being chosen for us, right? And the genealogy shows it, but people don't think so. They just think, oh, well, the left is hate the rights. These people are on the same team up above. They just play us like fiddles. They got us arguing about this. They got a whole different game plan that they've been playing from this programming and all of this stuff, and they do that. And they're not playing. The links are in the description of tonight's show. Yes, they are. I'm positive that they infiltrated. Subscribe. Nelly says she subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Then people, yeah. And so real quickly, as we get ready to get out of here tonight, if you want, like, the three things that you're going to hear on my show is the Monarch mind control programming that they're doing, because it's a lot of stuff. And we're going to expose people in real life, okay, we can tell you they're programmed. They switched them out or whatever they're doing. The other thing you're going to find that I talk about throughout the week is Reptilian Agenda. It's big. It's politics. It's celebrities. It's mind control. And they're controlling everything. And they do exist. Abductions. I just had a reptilian guy, a pastor, remember on Friday night show, or was it Wednesday, that he was abducted or visited by reptilians. He's a pastor of a church, and he was about to cry. I just had somebody last week telling their story about Antarctica, a brother in Antarctica, seeing the aliens and stuff. So as y'all know, I do that on my channel. So if you want to hear that kind of stuff, you like that kind of stuff throughout periodically, then come on with it. Oh, there's my guy right here. Let me put it up on the screen. Daryl. If y'all have not heard of him, we and him got a video here. He's the bishop that walked away from the clergy. He was over 5 churches when he found out the alien truth. Yeah, I just put him on screen. Find him, subscribe to. Him and I did a show here. It's got 1 million views. Put the shit on the map. Look, I'm cursing, and the former bishop is there. But I put the Sugar Honey IT on the map. But he's part of our other system thing that we have. And I'm not going to call the name here, but come and get it. If y'all want this kind of stuff and you want to be informed, you're going to get informed here. You already know that here. My goal is to create a vortex. So let me let you know what I do here. I believe there are enough wanderers out there. I know everybody walking around for the awake people. You got people that's woke and wake. That's cool. But I also think there's a lot of wanderers. My goal is to bring those wanderers into the vortex. The people who are walking around saying I'm crazy. No, you're not crazy. You're not crazy at all. I'm going to bring them in so they understand things that they can hear, they can see, so they know they're not crazy. That feeling that night that you was getting, though, that dream and sleep paralysis and all of that stuff happening, it is real true. The stuff that you're getting and these visions, it is happening. It is not. You're not crazy. So my goal is to bring you into this vortex, then transfer you over to Billy and Forbidden Knowledge to he'll take you on the rest of the way to enlighten you. I'm just going to illuminate your ass, okay? And then once I illuminate you bring you over into this, he'll take you the rest of the way. But my job is to get the wanderers, okay? His job is to take you on the flight to see Scotty, okay? And he's doing a good job at it. That's cool, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And if you can support that, then come watch me some more. Watch me some more. You know what I'm saying? This is how we roll, baby. This is how we roll, okay? And we're going to do that. Like I said, I could sense when you sleep paralysis is about to happen. It's real. It's real stuff. It is real stuff. So again, reptilian talk, I'm your guy. Symbolism, ancient and modern day symbolism. And I'm not talking about just going to look on something over here. I'm talking about they're doing in real public. When I did a show about the Oreo cookie, that everybody thought it was a joke in this modern day occultism, and how they use the as below and so above that cookie, and the inside, the symbolism, the ancient stuff that's driving you on it. Oreo itself is the number 26. Go do your demonstria, and they're using it. Now, I'm saying it, the power exists. Y'all see this right here. I get a lot of slack. Oh, you got this Mason. It's not Masons. This is the upside down triangle. It's the all-seeing eye, because that is power. We can use the same power, but I got a circle of protection because I'm going in areas teaching you stuff that is magic, is demonic, and I got to be protected. And I am. My stuff is lit. It's protected. I put this on shirts for my audience to be protected. It's been activated for protection because this stuff is real. You just heard me say in this show and the one yesterday and what you're going to hear tomorrow that we're talking about demonic stuff. They're bringing these demons into the babies who are walking around with us every day. And we wonder why this stuff happens. These people are got a plan, and that plan is real technical stuff. However, that does not mean that you can't learn and harness the power and use it for what you want. Okay. So for what I'm saying to you, when we think about the SWAT sticker and it's with whatever his name, Hitler, and it's bad. Well, that SWAT sticker is a Chinese symbol and it was for all this stuff. He just took the power and used it, and he built a brand on it. So when we think about, we see it, we think it's German, but you can take the same stuff. It's the same thing the Illuminati them did. They took the same ancient symbolism that we all have, that we have access to, which is what I use. Truth versus authority. As you know, authority is their weapon. Truth is ours. That's my whole branding, is to let you know, just because truth is the truth, and now we think authority is authority, and they're using it again. We see it in real time today, especially in our political field right now. He is blowing it up. It's the most entertaining White House. I love watching what's going on, because all these people, they're seeing it. He said it's the new golden age. It's right there. We talk about the new world order all the time on my channel. It's in real time. Now people's hearing it and seeing it. They like, oh, people, they've been playing in this crap. But you can prepare yourself, though, get the knowledge and everything else. So I'm going to put this up one more time before we go. Hopefully it resonate with you. Once again, this is my schedule. If you can help subscribe to the channel and get me to 25. Everybody in here, go subscribe right now. The link is down there, or you or search. I'll reach 23,000. That is a blessing, okay? But we're trying to get to 25,000 to do the ceremony of 25,000. I need to change it to 26, that godly number, right? But anyway, 25,000. No, again, you can find me tomorrow, Wednesday. We're going to be doing part 3, which is deeper into this program. And so if you want to continue, and then if you want to get what we talked about yesterday to convert into what you heard tonight, go back and watch part 1 on my show we did yesterday, Monday. You'll see this thumbnail. And you'll see this thumbnail, and you'll see this one tomorrow for Wednesday at 8 o'clock. But if you want to be involved on Thursdays in an uncensored conversation, it don't hold a lot of people. You can do Korean. Yeah, we had the Reptilian Channeler in there doing a second channeling private to people. I got all kinds of stuff there, stuff you won't hear anywhere else. It's just new, so it is growing. But at the same time, just the Patreon. Pick the all access is 26, and you have access to that, and you would do that. So if I served you tonight, if you can let me know before we get out of here, and if you did subscribe, bruh, I'm already subscribed. Cool. And if I did any justice, put a thumb up before we go. I'll appreciate it. Just know that you've got quality or value out tonight's show. And like I said, we'll be live here from now on every Tuesday. I have been uploading videos. And then I'll be in a chat with y'all, but we are live now. Spiritual attachment is covered. Yeah. So any questions real quick before we go, put it in the chat. Okay. Made by Chacker, give me a thumbs up. I'm a victim of MKULTRA. Okay. I believe it. You could tell me. Somebody else be like, what? They think you had to be put on machinery. No, they're doing it in real life, right? They did it with the Alice in Wonderland that all of us watched. Wizard of Oz was all programming. Every character was sending a message and programming us as child, from the not having a brain to not having courage to they were programming us like crazy. And some of that stuff, we felt trauma. Okay. They were doing it. Mike said, yes, thank y'all. All right. G-Dobbs. All right, cool. Fact, they was programming us every day. Yeah. And our parents was putting it in front of us. They didn't know no better. They was programmed. Everybody, they've been doing it. Okay. We all got some stuff, okay, and they're doing it. What is sleep paralysis? Can you explain it? A sleep paralysis for a lot of people is you feel it at night when you're in a bed and you feel something is holding you. A lot of times you can feel it. You will feel something pinning you down. You can feel sexual things happen to you because they chum it up as sleep paralysis. Sometimes you can feel things coming from the backside. All of this is demonic stuff. It's not that it's negative, but they just come by and they want to take advantage of you. It's not alien interaction. It is something taking over, and you can't move. Now, a lot of people tell you to say in the name of Jesus, name of Jesus. And I've heard that some of these demons just laugh, but they just leave you alone out of respect, like whatever. But the name of Jesus is powerful in some cases, and it actually works. So just look it up and you can find more about it, but it's happening to most everybody. A lot of people don't talk about sleep paralysis because they don't want nobody to know. They've been held down in the bed at night and do it. But yes, it happens all the time. Succubus, yes. So do check that out and pretty much. Christy, thumbs up. Thank you. And all of those things. So again, thank you for the knowledge. And can I find your channel for free? Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean find my channel for free? I'm on YouTube. Let me go back and put this on the screen. Yeah, go right there. That's my YouTube channel. It's free. I'm there 3 days a week, free, 4 days a week. I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live, free. Come on. YouTube is free. If you come to YouTube and watch me all the time, then that creates ad revenue. You know, we're a community funded show. I'm a small, show doing what I do. So, I have to have the people that will support me in the way that they can. And so I try to support them by showing up and giving them stuff that I get from the inside information that I have and connected to the people. But yeah, come to my YouTube channel, free. It's free. Please, it's free. Don't take it that I was just talking about accessing it. That whoever need that will find that and do that. But please, I honor your time. Subscribe to me free. Watch me free. Yeah, I'm there. I show up. This is what I do. It happened to be, yeah. All right. So, okay. So thank you for all the work you're doing, humanity. Okay. So with that being said, it's been a plum, please, and privilege. I don't have any more questions. Y'all don't have no more questions. And I know some people, I'm a rabbit. All right. So I talk about that in the first show, that if you have been programming, most people who have some kind of program and see themselves as a white rabbit. Okay. It's in the docs, it's in the books. So go back and look at it. But again, that's not a bad thing, but that means somewhere along the way, we have been, open to programming and Monarch Programming. And I told you the types of people, who they are, what type, and some of it is kind of raunchy, go look. But being seen as a rabbit is one of the codes that they program into the mind control. So if you do, yeah, just yeah. And just think about it. I'm not saying a negative, you some zombie slave. It's just that you have probably experienced it somewhere and it just stuff hadn't activated itself and all that stuff. So, and all of those things. But anyways, as the greatness says, been a pleasure and pleasure as well as a privilege. I'm Roderick Martin, aka the symbolizer of truth versus authority. Hit the like button on this video. And again, I hope to see you all tomorrow for part 3. And then Fridays, we do our long Fridays. We go deep healing and stuff too. All of that. Then Monday, then we back here on Tuesday. I'll be live on Tuesdays. If you can just wait Tuesday, and then you don't want to hear no more about what we talk about, the extension of this today, tomorrow, that's cool. But either way, you can still go back and watch it or just fill in the dots yourself and pretty much to do that. I love each and every one of you. I really do. And to my haters, if you're here watching me every week, hating on me, I love you. I really do. I love you. I don't want to meet you, but I do love you. Also, y'all know the Consciousness Award is coming up, so it's going to be fabulous. So, and we should have some promotions coming up with that. So make sure that you go to Forbidden Knowledge website, get ready for the Conscious Awards, okay? Because it's going to be off the charts this year. And pretty much, I'm not nominated this year yet. I don't think so. But again, I won yesterday. It was a lovely time. And to be there again to meet some of you who I met last year. But anyway, make sure this time you get your tickets early, get the preparation early, all of this stuff. And so y'all support the Conscious Awards this year. I don't know exactly the date, but I'll get that from Billy and Liz. So each week we're going to start building that promotion up to it. So making sure, and then I'm going to be there too. And I want to meet y'all personally, and hopefully we can do a get together there or something and talk some real stuff live. And maybe I'll get in a day early or something. You get there a day early, whatever it is. We can probably do that. But anyway, again, I love you. For those of you watching as well. And if someone's not telling you that they love you, we all got to hear it. I'm single right now. So I do look in the mirror and I love myself, but I will tell you though, I love you. I'm looking at you, I love you, and hugs and everything else because you're a lovable person. But again, if you're a hater, you're here every week, you're really a fan. You're just critical. And that's okay. Criticism works, okay? It's okay. So keep criticizing or whatever. But either way, I love each and every one of you. I really do. And my people that come and watch, they know I mean what I say, and I'm saying what I mean. All right, I got to get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. Much love to all of you. And come subscribe to my channel, man. Just text in Roderick and subscribe. Good night, y'all.
and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. I am very fearful for the world we live in because we bought it hook, line, and sinker, and all over the world we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority. It is going to require intellect, knowledge, study, and making a stand for the first time not to accept the things which your government gives you, which your religions give you, and which the authorities give you. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have a very big problem with anyone called an authority, because they're always...